The holographic display flickered to life across every inhabited world in the Terran Federation, casting an eerie blue glow over the faces of billions of viewers. Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood frozen in her diplomatic quarters aboard the orbital station New Geneva, watching in horror as the Galactic Council's ceremonial chamber materialized before her eyes. 50,000 human colonists from the mining world of Kepler 442b knelt in perfect rows across the vast crystalline floor, their hands bound with energy restraints that pulsed like dying stars. Above them, the 7-member council sat in their floating thrones, each representing one of the galaxy's major civilizations. The Zenthari delegates' tentacles writhed with what Elena had learned to recognize as anticipation, while the silicon-based Korthak representative's body glowed with an ominous red heat. "Citizens of the galaxy," the Council's prime arbiter announced, its voice a harmonic blend of all 7 species' communication methods. "Today, we demonstrate the consequences of defying the Galactic Accords. These humans have violated Section 847 of the mining regulations by extracting resources from a Class 7 protected world." Elena's hands clenched into fists. The protected world designation had been retroactively applied to Kepler 442b only after rare quantum crystals were discovered there, crystals that could revolutionize faster than light travel. The human colony had been established decades before the Galactic Council even knew the planet existed. The broadcast continued with clinical precision. Energy beams descended from the chamber's ceiling, and in mere seconds, 50,000 lives were extinguished. No screams, no pleas for mercy, just the silent conversion of human consciousness into scattered particles of light. Within hours, riots erupted across Earth's major cities. The Global Parliament convened an emergency session as protesters surrounded the Interstellar Relations Building in New Geneva. Elena found herself summoned to an urgent video conference with President Chen and the entire cabinet. Ambassador President Chen's weathered face appeared on Elena's personal communicator. "The people are calling for immediate withdrawal from the Galactic Council. Some are demanding we prepare for war." Elena rubbed her temples, feeling the weight of humanity's future pressing down on her shoulders. "Mr. President, a military response would be catastrophic. The Council's combined fleets outnumber ours 1,000 to 1. Then what do you propose?" Defense Secretary Harrison's voice crackled through the comm. "We can't let this massacre go unanswered." Through her observation window, Elena could see the massive Zenthari dreadnought Void's Edge maintaining its position near the station. Its biomechanical hull pulsed with bioluminescent patterns that she'd learned meant watchful waiting in their language. They were expecting humanity's response. "There's another way," Elena said slowly, an idea forming. "The Galactic Accords contain provisions for formal challenges to Council decisions. It hasn't been invoked in over 2 centuries, but it's still legal doctrine." President Chen leaned forward. "What kind of challenge?" "Trial by ordeal of truth. If a member species can prove the Council acted beyond its authority, the decision can be overturned and reparations demanded." Elena pulled up the relevant files on her display. "But it requires absolute proof of Council corruption or procedural violation. And if we lose?" Elena's silence spoke volumes. The penalty for a failed challenge was the complete subjugation of the challenging species. Over the following weeks, Elena worked tirelessly with a team of xenolinguists, legal scholars, and intelligence operatives. They discovered what they needed, buried deep in the Korthak delegates' personal communications evidence, that the protected world status had been purchased through bribes of rare earth elements, and that the quantum crystal discovery had been known to the Council for months before the designation. The evidence was damning, but presenting it would require Elena to reveal humanity's intelligence capabilities and risk the lives of undercover operatives throughout Council space. On the day of the hearing, Elena stood before the assembled Council in the same chamber where 50,000 humans had died. The crystalline floor had been cleaned, but she could swear she still felt the lingering energy of those lost souls. "Honorable arbiters," she began, her voice carrying across the vast space, "humanity formally challenges the execution order under Article 1247 of the Galactic Accords. We possess evidence of procedural violations and corruption in the designation of Kepler 442b as a protected world." The Quartak delegates' body flared bright orange, the equivalent of nervous laughter in their species. But Elena pressed on, presenting each piece of evidence with methodical precision: financial records, communication intercepts, timestamps, proving the Council had known about the quantum crystals for months before acting. The trial lasted 3 days. Other Council members shifted uncomfortably as the web of corruption unraveled before them. The Zenthari delegates' tentacles had gone completely still, their version of shocked silence. When Elena finished her presentation, the chamber fell silent, except for the hum of the station's life support systems. The Prime Arbiter conferred with its fellow Council members in a rapid exchange of lights, sounds, and chemical signals. Finally, the verdict came. The challenge is sustained. The execution order is declared null and void. The Quartak delegate will face criminal proceedings for violation of Council ethics. Reparations of 50 million galactic credits will be paid to the Terran Federation for the wrongful deaths of the Kepler 442b colonists. As Elena returned to her quarters, she received a message from President Chen. "The families of those lost will never see true justice, but you've shown the galaxy that humanity won't be silenced. Well done, Ambassador." Looking out at the stars, Elena reflected on the price of justice in a universe where power often trumped truth. 50,000 lives couldn't be restored, but perhaps their sacrifice had purchased something equally valuable: the knowledge that even the mighty Galactic Council could be held accountable. The galaxy was watching, and humanity had just proven it would not go quietly into the night.